I think around let's talk about the Swiss cheese, right? So we use that. I think all those pieces of the Swiss cheese do not change just because you've been vaccinated. I mean, here's what I feel comfortable telling people that have been vaccinated. If you have people that are vaccinated 14 days post second dose, I truly don't believe they need to have those precautions, right? The data stands up to that. The problem is, and this is again where that sort of healthcare equity comes into play. Most people haven't been vaccinated, right? So who is vaccinated? You don't have a passport. There's no app. There's no scarlet letter on your head, right? That says, "Hey, I've been vaccinated." They don't put a V for vendetta or vaccination on your scalp. So again, you have to be careful. And I think it's important to continue the message because it doesn't do any good if we have a quarter of the population vaccinated and 75% isn't, and then they let down their guards as well. And then variants, that's how variants are created, right? If you have a pool of unvaccinated people running wild with multiplying virus. And so I think that's just important for people to understand. Um, Again, the world will change. It will get better. It is likely that this is going to be endemic and come out in hot spots here and then. We can argue about whether a booster is yearly or seasonally, whatever the case is. I think we just got to get through now, right? So step by step.
To that same point, I think you mentioned a really important point, something that we haven't talked about in depth, but variants. These variants are circulating, and variants are created when the virus is allowed to continually replicate. So that's actually where the push for getting vaccinated comes in. It's really important to get vaccinated because the more opportunity that this virus has to replicate, the more opportunity it has to create variants. And I could go into the details of how variants are created, but just imagine this: when a virus replicates, in theory, it replicates and just makes itself and keeps going. But there is a space in there for error. It's an error in replication. So what happens is, in some cases, the error can cause the virus to be weaker, and that's not a very good variant. But a variant in which an error occurs, and that error could change something in the virus that allows it to be more transmissible. Like the concern is for the UK strains and the South Africa strain. The error allows the virus to be stronger and to be more easily transmissible. So with that being said, I will say that the one cool thing, and I'm not pubbing any particular vaccine in this case, but what I will tell you is that, let's say, for example, because those studies are going on right now to see how effective mRNA, in particular Moderna, is against the South Africa strain. But what I will tell you is that if you have a South Africa strain, the cool thing about the mRNA technology is that if there was a situation where, let's say, that vaccine didn't work against the South Africa strain, the technology allows you to be a sequence from that South Africa strain, specifically from that South Africa strain, and take that and use the same technology to create a booster, and you get injected with a booster that gives you antibodies to protect you specifically against that. And that can happen within a matter of probably even months, because the technology is so plastic. It can be changed so quickly. So there is so much hope in mRNA vaccine technology. So even if the South Africa strain is able to avoid vaccination, which it is not known just yet, then it could be essentially, the vaccine could be designed or redesigned to address that particular concern. So we have a lot of hope to rest upon as well. But you have to get vaccinated. Some protection is better than no protection.